Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host 𝙒𝙖𝙩𝙤. Today I have the pleasure of Savio Rodrigues joining us. Savio has been active in politics in Goa. He contested unsuccessfully from the 𝙒𝙬𝙤 constituency, but he is now a BJP spokesperson for Goa. And I would like to welcome Savio with this question. Savio, first of all, welcome to PGurus channel.
Namaste, Shri. How are you?
I'm doing well, Savio, my friend. First, I want to ask you the question that is raging and making the headlines today. What is your take on what is happening in the Kashi Gyanvapi mosque/mandir? What are your thoughts on that? Because you are the spokesperson of BJP, plus you are someone who I consider as being neutral party. So please let us know what you think.
To put it in a historical perspective, most Hindu temples and most Sanatana Dharma places of worships were built around energy zones that had a very powerful reasoning behind why those temples were constructed and why the temples were constructed in a particular area. Whether it's the dome of the temple, whether it's the internal Shivling inside a temple and the need for water and certain plants to be around it, there's always a scientific and an energy-driven reasons behind it. Now, when invaders, in my limited understanding of history, when invaders came into India, whether they were the Muslim invaders or whether they were the Portuguese as far as Goa is concerned, or the British as far as the rest of India was concerned, they would also look at these places of worship in two ways. One, of course, in the same sciences that they would have believed in or understood would have been the energy parts of those locations. Second is to hit at the heart of those believers that were followers of Sanatana Dharma, and that is why many of the Islamic invaders, as well as the Portuguese invaders in Goa, attacked the temples, and people believing in the gods in those temples had to flee from those areas, as we had seen in Goa. So a lot of the Kul Devas and Kul Devis from Goa, people moved with them to other places in India, say Karwar or Mangalore and other parts of Karnataka. Now this happens because there is a history. We're a country with a very long history, and this world has a very long history. So there's always going to be a level of subjectivity to such issues coming up, where there will have been a temple before, and then you have a mosque, or there would have been a temple before, and then you might have a church, and these issues are going to arise. The point is, how do we deal with it when they arise, and how do we deal with the conflict that arises out of that? And that requires a certain amount of maturity from people across religions to say, how do I deal with this in a matured manner? So when there are places of high worship for the Hindus, when there are places of high worship that have religious and historical significance for the Hindus, of course, the Hindus are going to be asking for their rights in those areas. And if history proves those rights, and you can prove it through documentation, through legal process, then it's only fair for the Hindus to demand that which was theirs to be given back to them. Number one. Let's say in Goa, for example, the chief ministers made a statement of reconstructing all the temples that were destroyed during the Portuguese rule of over 400 plus years, right? Now, some people took an offense to it. At nowhere in his statement did he ever say that he's going to break down the churches. He didn't say that. He said that there were temples that were around, and this was destroyed due to the Portuguese rule in Goa. And it's only legitimate that he wants to build it back again. What is wrong in having a lost part of your history back again? The problem, however, is when you look at the past history, looking at the past history and living in the past history are two different aspects. The past history has to help you reconcile the past, live in the future harmoniously and with communal harmony, and plan for the future in a very cohesive manner, in a very acceptance of all religion manner. However, this is easier said than done, and it's very idealistic in thought, but very difficult at a ground level. So you're going to see conflict. Therefore, people of all faiths, whether they are Hindus, Muslims, and Christians, need to understand that there is one intrinsic quality in all religion, and that quality is humanity. That trait, that preaching, that professing is about humanity. If you lose your humanity in your fight and your conflicts of religion, I don't think you cease to be a person who follows your religion at all. So fighting or killing, like for example, mocking the Shivling over the last couple of days, you've been seeing immense mocking of the Shivling. What is the need to even walk down that path? I mean, learned people, educated people on social media, political people, socialites, influencers, most from the Hindu community itself, took on to mocking a Shivling just because it seemed politically right for you to do. But you are forgetting the religious sensitivities that exist for many people. And there is the truth that there is going to be a temple that will be under a mosque. There's going to be a temple that will be under the church. The question is, how do we deal with it? We have to move forward. We need to progress forward. And that's the most important thing in mind.
Savio, before I ask the next question, a request to all our viewers, could you please like this program? And we are having Savio after a hiatus of a few months, I think. The last time we had him was when he was running for the MLA post in 𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤 constituency. Please do like this program, because I think the response on this video is much less than what I thought. Anyway, this happens sometimes. People are all completely consumed by what is happening at Kashi Gyanvapi. But having said that, Savio, I want to take you back before your days of a BJP spokesperson to what was your experience running for the seat of 𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤. What did you feel? I mean, you were very earnest the last time we spoke. How did it all play out? What would be different if you were to contest again?
Well, to be extremely honest, Shri, like I always am, is I think we had very limited time to make an impact, and we gave it all that we could. And that was, I wouldn't even say it's unsuccessful. What it was actually sowing the seeds of plantation of the future. So what I am doing, and have started from even before the results, was to implement the manifesto that I put out to the people, which is about creating jobs, which is looking at the eco aspects of the constituency, making it a model village. I've already initiated that work. I come from a school of thought that you do a lot of action more than you talk. So we've already initiated it. We've started our program, which I told you about, which was about empowering women. We've done a couple of workshops in the constituency. We've gone to other constituencies and done workshops. We've initiated our plan on the eco-friendly pencils, which is a brand out of 𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤, which is made out of the waste that we had during the election campaign.
I saw that thing, pencils, beautiful.
Pencil. Yeah. It's been so successful that I've even got an investor from Canada who's asked me to go about bringing the idea to Canada, where he'll be distributing it across different, places in Canada. He wants me to make a very similar hyperlocal pencil, just like I'm doing with 𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤 and different places in Goa. Now, to me, the experience was one that was slightly different, Shri, because as a journalist, people expect you to fight for justice, to fight for their rights, to go ahead and make a noise about the issue. But as a politician, they are not looking at me making a noise about an issue. They're looking at me solving the issue for them, right? So I'm always going to be there for the people of 𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤, and they have my number. They know where I am. I travel a lot, yes, but I'm also in Goa for a considerable amount of time, and people can get in touch with me. They get in touch with my people, and whatever they need, we are here. We've helped a few people before, and we will continue to help. I don't come from a school of thought that I have to take a picture for every person I help and put it out. That's not my style. But my style is to see people grow, to see them evolve, and to see them educate, empowered and employ. That's really what my motto is, and that's what we're doing in Veli, and that's what we'll do across Goa.
So, Savio, now, I I was a little surprised by the verdict because you've been on national TV, if I'm not wrong, perhaps on Republic TV and some other national channels, and you are almost there every day on at prime time. So clearly, the literate constituencies that Goa is, they should have seen. I mean, there was a brand name called Savio. You were also the editor of Goa Chronicle. All these things must have helped you get some traction. Where do you think it went wrong in William? I'm a little surprised because I thought you
I'll
would,
tell you.
give it a tough fight, and somehow
Uh,
I'm trying to struggling here. Thank you.
I'll tell you where it went wrong. They did not have a personal connect with me. As many as the people I tried to meet during the campaigning, and we visited a lot, almost 9,250 homes. Uh, I needed to go back again and again so that the face that they saw on television on national issues could have been broken down to solving it at local issues, which is Vellum based issues and Goa state issues. So now that hope, that belief is slowly coming into them, because now I keep getting calls from people asking me, Savio, where are you? Are you in Goa? Are you in Delhi? Can we meet you? We need a little bit of help. Can you advise us on your ideas? Can we be a part of it? So the team building is happening now, Shri, because what we didn't have then was a political team, a strategic team, in order for us to know people at a very grassroots level. You see, it's like an Amitabh Bachchan, right? Amitabh Bachchan was, when he's at a height of his career, an extremely popular actor and extremely popular Bollywood actor. But when he came into politics, he didn't fare that well, right? So I think in politics it's about people connect, and where we lacked, and which we did endeavor, very strenuously, was to build that connect. And now I have 5 years to build that connect. So Valem is not going to go to anybody else. It's going to stay with me, come one way or the other, because these are my people. They understand me. They will hear my voice, and they will understand that we need to build together.
So let's ask some contemporary questions now. Now, things are beginning to come back to normal, although I would still say with a note of caution that you have to still travel with, masks on, whether you're flying or on the street and so on and so forth. How are things over in Goa? Goa is known for its tourism, and its economy was largely based on tourism. Has Goa bounced back? Is in the process of bouncing back? How are the current issues like price rise because of the war in Ukraine affecting it?
You see, tourism has actually picked up in Goa, desirably, but it could be better, for one. The Goa government, under the leadership of Dr. Pramod Sawant, who has now proven his mettle by winning the elections beautifully and convincingly, is now working very aggressively. You have a young set of ministers. You've got people like Vishwajit Rane, Rohan Kaunte, who are very brilliant in their own spaces. You have people like Subhash Shirodkar, Govind Gaude, again, people who have got experience. Yeah, they are youthful in their approach. They are thinking of ideas, and I've interacted with many of them in the last couple of weeks. So I know there is an energy. There's a new energy in the Goa government. Yes, the COVID situation has been impactful across the world. India has also faced its impact, and Goa has also faced its impact. But now is the time for resurgence. When I say resurgence, it's a step-by-step process to move ahead. Tourism is being picked up. You have the Mopa airport, which is coming up and going to be launched, open soon. You have tourism ideas that are coming in fresh from the new tourism minister, Rohan Kaunte. So there is a new vibrancy. Will Goa surge ahead? Of course it would. There is no other way. Goa has been surging ahead even before. Will you face criticism from the opposition? I think the opposition's job is to criticize. Whether it's constructive is something for them to decide. In most cases, it is not. It is always left to the people and the citizens in Goa to actually raise issues whether it's environmental, whether it's impact on tourism, whether it's impact on various factors. It's always the conscientious citizen in Goa that have raised. The opposition in Goa is actually really poor, and even now, I'm pretty sure under the leadership of the former BJP person who's the leader of the opposition, Michael Lobo, who's now joined Congress, the opposition has continued to be extremely poor because they really only talk about the problems. They don't give people the solutions. The day opposition starts giving people the solution is when the time when BJP will start fighting back and being more effective than they already are.
Now, I have been to Goa several times, and it always looked like a sleepy town, but it's very prosperous. Now, the overall literacy, I don't know the numbers. Perhaps you can share those with us. By the way, you viewers, you can ask questions of Savio as long as they are on topic. Hashtag Ask Savio, and we will try to accommodate your questions. More importantly, Savio, how do you see the future of Goa? I mean, you've man with ideas. I mean, I'll say this thing unabashedly. You've always had ideas. You've had the drive. What is happening with your magazine, Goa Chronicle, and your publishing thing? I'm asking two questions: vision of Goa, vision for Goa, and what your current, things that you are working on before. What is the status on those? Go ahead.
Okay, I think the future of Goa is very bright. I think Goa is going to see a lot of growth as far as tourism is concerned. You're going to see a lot of growth as far as industrial sectors are concerned, industries such as pharma, industries such as IT. I'm also, I believe I'm not going to say it out loud and give out as much information, but the fact that the potential of Goa, even focusing on being like a semiconductor hub, is also strong potential. There's a huge potential of turning Goa into an education hub as well, which the government is working on. There is the film city, the sports city, many factors that are going to be working to benefit the people of Goa and to benefit Goa's economy. It requires a concentrated, well-planned effort, and most of all, it requires to take people along. So the people of Goa need to understand that for us to move forward, it is a combination of sustainable economic development to cater to the people and the needs of the people that they see out of Goa and what Goa can deliver. And that's where sometimes the conflict arises when there are certain infrastructure projects that get bulldozed by certain activism. I think we need to rationally sit together as a state and realize that in sustainable development, you're going to have economic development happening simultaneously. And that is why it's important for us to grow. Today, Goa, because most of the Goans are aspirational in nature, and they are aspirational because somebody or the other has got some connect abroad where they've traveled or they are connected internationally. So they've seen the kind of life that exists abroad. They've seen the life that exists in other parts of India. So Goa has a potential to grow economically. That is where the people of Goa and the government need to come together to actually see eye to eye on developing an economic plan that is acceptable, if not to all, but the majority of the people, because 100% acceptability in a democracy on any governmental plan is next to impossible. Right? So that's what I see for Goa. As far as Savio Rodrigues is concerned, Savio Rodrigues media enterprise will continue to move ahead. I will continue to remain the founder, but we are setting in a new team that will look into the editorial aspects of it, simply because being a spokesperson of BJP, it is not fair for me to run an editorial process in my book of ethics. But as an entrepreneur, I have already, over the last 4 years, invested in startup companies that will make a difference in India, especially my focus on cow economics, which is something that I'm very, very passionate about. It is also something that I will take across India and other parts of the world. I will bring back the respectability to the cow in India aggressively and assertively. My Family, My Cow is an initiative which we have started. My Family, My Cow is to bring back the value that was accorded to the cow in India, and the time we saw prosperity. A very learned spiritual leader told me that when India was seeing its most prosperous time, it was when the cows were 2:1 in ratio to the human. And where do I come from, Sri? I come from Goa. Goa's actual names in the past was 𝙒𝙂𝙖𝙩𝙤𝙦, 𝙒𝙗𝙪, which means the land of the cows. If I have to set out on my dream, my family, my cow, that dream has been initiated from Goa, from the land of the cows. As far as my other enterprises are concerned, we are working extensively on new technology for cleaning of water bodies in India, the lakes, the rivers. We are almost in a finalization with a Japanese-based company to bring that technology to India through a joint technological transfer that we are doing. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be using all the talent, all the companies that we have invested into to reform India through economics, through empowerment, and most of all through education. And that's really what Savio is all about. Savio has never been about him being in a position. It doesn't matter whether I win an election or not, because for me, what is important is what is the impact that I can have on people. Today, when people across India have got 500 machines of our diya making machines in 200 districts and 17 states in India, I am touching with my team the lives of people all over. I want to take the machine numbers to as high as 10,000, 20,000 numbers over the next 24 months across India. Why do I want to do that? Because I cannot stand a person being without money, without food, without education. And in India right now, we still have those kind of people. COVID has shown you how desperate people can get. How desperate. So we have to give economics back into their hands. They have to control their economics. So my cow, my family, the cow dung diyas that we are doing, the eco pencils that we are doing, the lake rejuvenation as well as the river rejuvenation sciences that we are working on, the electric chargers stations that we are tying up with, everything has got dual purposes: economics, environment, education, entrepreneurship, and most importantly, it's for the people. Because it doesn't make any difference to me whether I make $1 million or whether I make nothing, because my blessings are always there. I'm a blessed man, because of the blessings of Ma Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom, right? And today I think it's important for us to reach out as political leaders to the grassroots level with an intention to serve, not an intention to earn. And that's the difference.
Savio, last question, and this is regarding the cost economics of the pencils that you have done. How do you compare with, say, some product in the market? It's good to do something ergonomically correct, but how do the cost economics work? Are you on par? Do you need a little bit more scaling before you get par? Just talk us through a little bit, because I'd like to understand Savio, the entrepreneur, for the viewer.
Okay, so the cost economics actually works very well. We are currently priced brilliantly. So what we do is we take dry waste. We collected dry waste. So after the elections in Valem, there was a lot of dry waste available in our own workstation and some other places that we knew of. So in order to send out a message that we are here to do what we said to do, we collected all the dry waste and we converted them into plantable seed pencils. We also converted some of them into plantable seed pens. Now, plantable seeds are seeds on top of these eco-friendly pencils that allow for you to plant it after you use that pencil or pen. Now, is it the cost the problem? The profitability of mine can be anywhere between 50% to 30% of a pen or a pencil. To me, that's the least of my worry. The most important aspect is how do I get the country, especially the government offices, the corporates, to understand that in order for you to reuse or to recycle or to promote Swachh Bharat, you have to buy recyclable products. People do not, if you do not buy recyclable products, how can you expect a company to recycle products? So today, what I went and told the Goa BJP office, and it worked beautifully, because every month they give me 20 kgs, starting from last month, they're giving me 20 kgs of their dried waste, which is shredded. And in return, on Saturday, I am giving them a whole lot of pencils made out of that waste paper. A BJP colored pencil with a plantable seed that the BJP MLAs and the BJP office bearers can give it to other people. In much the same way, I've got inquiries from BJP parties, offices in different states. I got it from Kerala, I got it from Karnataka, I got it from another part, from Himachal, to basically tell me that, hey, listen, this is a great idea. Can we give you our dry waste and can you give us pencils? It works. I have an investor from Canada willing to invest to create a hyper-local model of the same idea in Canada. So is it economically viable? Of course. I would never do anything if I don't make money. Never. Every business is started with the purpose to earn. The levels of the earning vary. The levels of the earning will always vary. Now, if I have to empower people, if I have to put money into their hands, then I have to make the business model viable. I cannot do it for free, right? So once you make it viable, can I give that person making pencils? Now the best part of making these pencils is that we can actually put it into a huge self-help group, wherein people who don't really have much of an education can actually then become skilled laborers, because we will teach them how to roll those pencils. We will teach them how to take the crushed paper that is there to put it into a recycling process and then make it into a plantable seed pencil again. So it is an economic activity. My whole purpose as an entrepreneur is not to be a billion-dollar company. My purpose is to ensure that billion people are impacted by the economics that we want to bring, and by the cow economics programs that we are working on. Shri, you write it down. In 5 years, we will create a revolution in India as far as the cow economics go, simply because we have lost respectability to the cow, and I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to ensure that every home that has the potential to keep and rear a cow will keep and rear a cow. Because if you go back to your past, if you go back to when we were young, if you were asked in India to draw your home, you would have drawn a mother, a father, a brother, a sister, a dog, a cat, and a cow. Today, the cow is not in your painting of your child. And that is what we need. We are going to bring back. And the benefits, my team over the last 4 years, I don't talk about it because you see me only as a journalist. People see me only on media. They don't know the economic background of mine. They don't know how much we have worked over the last 5 years to identify startup companies that we put our own money into to build. The amount of research that has gone into the cow economics. I can even tell you how we can go about making fuel using benefits from cow dung or cow urine, and scientifically. These are things that people have been working on. These are things we need to look at, because the more we destroy our environment, the more we are going to face problems. We have to figure out a way to balance, sustain our environment, our animals, our people, in a manner that is not a westernized way of working, but a very Indic way of working. And the Indic way of economics is quite different from the Western way. We have to get back to the grassroots levels of economics as far as India's growth is concerned.
Thank you, Savio. And you are a rare breed in the sense you have vision and you have the drive. Best of luck to you, bro. And you have a lot of irons in the fire, and I'm sure that many of them are going to go to their logical conclusions and make a lot of success. Especially, I'm impressed with your Go Mantak concept. My family, my cow. Let's we will all wish you all the best. We have a few questions for you, Savio.
Sure.
If it's okay with you, we can start taking those
Sure.
questions. Questions,
Sure.
please. BVSSRS Guntur. Sir, cows, temples, defense are important, but for those who are struggling day to day, they're grappling with grocery prices, petrols, transportation costs, and education costs. I think he's leaving it at there, but he's probably asking you what would be the solution for the common person.
Say, okay. Let me look at it this way. When we looked at the problem of economics that people were facing, we looked at the COVID crisis that happened. We realized that women that were at home had certain hours spare with them, and also unemployed youth had certain hours left with them. So we went ahead and realized that there are certain benefits that we could work on if we target what I see as a $3 billion industry, which is the dia market made out of cow dungs. And these are research documents that are available. Now, through the dia concept of us, we have patented a machine. That machine is given out to these women and the self-help groups. They can work in pairs. They can work in a group of 4 or 5. And each person, if they were dedicate about 5 hours to that machine, can bring about 400 to 450, maximum 500 diyas. Now, for each diya that they make, we give them a rupee. Now, we are providing them with the machine. We are providing them with the cow dung. We are providing them with the herbal that is required to connect to to solidify the diya. But most of all, we are buying back 100%. Now, I don't have the answers to every human's problem, but what I can do is provide a solution to create economic activity for people in India in the manner in which I can do. So is cow important to me? Yes, without the cow, the diya concept is null and void. Without the cow dung, I cannot make the diya that I want to make. Now, why is the cow dung diya important? Scientifically also, burning a diya made out of cow dung has more benefits to the climate and the environment than any other normal clay diya. So there is a holistic way. Are you looking at what we are doing? We are creating an avenue for gaushalas to sell that cow dung to us, which we are buying. In order for me to make 2 crore cow dung diyas, I would need an X amount of cow dung from the gaushalas itself. Now that gaushala cow dung is lying waste in most cases. We are buying them, so creating an economic activity. So can I solve petrol prices? I'm not in that space to solve the petrol prices at all right now. But in my limited capacity, I can tell you, to me, the cow is very important. You give me 5 years on this idea, and I will show you how cow economics can really make a difference to many, many people in India if they follow the pattern of what we are talking about. Can it also be used as a fuel? Well, my team is working on that. Let's see.
Same person, Guntur, wants to know, a 108-year-old case of real estate dispute is just resolved in Bihar. What is BJP doing on judiciary front besides the PM meeting with CMs? This is a little bit out of your bailiwick. You feel free to say no because you're interested with Goa.
I'm BJP spokesperson for Goa, so I can't comment on the government's working as far as India is concerned.
Yeah. Next question is the Doogie Browser, Doogie Hauser MD, inspired. Any plans to protest against temple lands occupied or temples destroyed by Portuguese rulers and the church?
Are you asking me as whether I have any plans to protest? No, I don't have any plans to protest. I'm not a guy who protests. But yes, I believe if the Goa CM needs to work on his intention of restoring the temples in Goa that were destroyed, then we have to do a very fair study of all the temples that were destroyed in Goa to arrive at the next step forward. Without a study, I don't think the CM himself is going to go about restoring temples.
Thank you very much, Savio. That was a wonderful session. I wish more people had seen, but again, this is going to be alive on YouTube for a long, long time. Viewers, do share, like, and subscribe to our channel, and do click on the bell
Shri, I
button.
just want to make one point to,
Go ahead.
to all the people of India listening. Okay. Whether I'm a BJP spokesperson or not, whether I was a Christian or not, the most important aspect of me as an individual, and you, my friends hearing me, is that we are humans and we are Indians. If at any point of time, with the kind of information flow that you're seeing across the country, from different quarters, you feel that you have arrived at the position of hate for any individual, either on the basis of the caste or his beliefs, religious beliefs, or his political beliefs, my earnest appeal to you is, please look at the humanity in you and around you. And that's the only way this country is going to progress.
Thank you very much, Savio. And viewers, I was finishing up my spiel on why you should be clicking on the super thanks button if you feel like this video was useful for you. Also, do click on the bell button for notification. Only 10 to 12% of you are clicking on the bell button. See, what I'm told is a subscriber need not get notifications of all the videos. I don't know the mechanics of this. All I can ask you all is to just click on the bell button, and that way I know for sure you will get notified every time a video comes up. Thanks, Savio, for taking the time out to talk to us, and wish you all the best. And like I said, you have the vision, you have the drive, and you will have success in the very near future. Namaskar.
Thank you, Shri. Namaskar.